Vinny and Abby.
What's up, Alex?
Welcome to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine.
What if I don't like wine and I'm really thirsty?
Then you are screwed.
Okay, that's fair.
This is Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, and by the way, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine is
Night
apparently
has fallen and
America.
You're weary from travel.
Is this Sting?
Stars fill the sky above.
I don't believe this is
In front
Sting.
of you
I think you will know when
is a
Sting
brightly
begins
lit
to speak.
wooden house, the only building you've seen for days.
What is this?
So this is a game about stories. It is set in kind of a Dust Bowl era America, but it is a very fanciful one, full of like folk tales and legends and things of that nature. And you are a person. Well, we'll just go through the intro here, and you'll get a sense of
the house,
what's happening.
Hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open.
So you're playing on Steam here, right?
Yes, I believe this is the only platform it's on, is PC.
$20?
I like the art a lot.
The art is great. That is one of the few things I really like about this game. I like a lot of things about this game. And I like a lot of the ideas. I just don't
You
love
sit down and join the game.
some of the execution on
It's
it,
a
which
cheap
we'll get into
buy-in.
momentarily.
And not many of the other players are very good.
Oh, this works out well for me.
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches.
It's just bad poker.
The man in gray across from you, though, he's good.
Oh, he doesn't look so good.
He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him.
He's got a weird head.
He does have a kind of weird
I don't
head.
know if I want to
One by
trust
one,
the guy with the weird
the
head.
other players leave the
He's
table.
just got a funny beard.
Sometimes
Don't
with
judge.
pique
He's Wolverine.
or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray.
Okay, first of all, you can't bet with feathers.
Now, you
That's
can bet
not.
this watch, I bet this feather.
Bet that watch is worth good money.
There's a bottle cap. There's a harmonica.
Ew.
Rusty
clean it
harmonica.
first.
Nope. This key, I don't know what it goes to.
Are we the slouchy man?
Yes, we are. We are Mr. Slouch.
Wow, good hand.
Oh, I didn't get to see your hand.
It was all spades.
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray.
All in.
He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand. He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush.
I feel like after this poker game, this
Spades.
voiceover guy's going to sell me some
Aces
beer.
high.
Yeah.
Or a very relaxing kind of lifestyle.
So one thing I know about poker is that anytime you have a royal flush, obviously you win. There's no way that this could go any other way.
Well, if two people put down a royal flush, then you have to play war, right?
It says right there, nothing can beat me.
I
But
don't
the
know.
man
I've seen
in
Parent
gray
Trap.
pushes forward his whole pile.
I like that's the frame of reference.
You're
Parent
not
Trap.
sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
Wait.
The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt.
Nope.
However I ask.
Nope. Just
Do it.
Nope.
Do
Does
it. Sell your soul.
Does he
The
talk like
man
this?
in gray smiles. All right, then. I'll call.
What?
Oh my goodness, no.
Ooh. Well, you knew what you were.
Ew, right on the harmonica. Put my mouth on that.
That's no good to anyone anymore. What? Oh no!
Oh boy, we did some blood ritual.
Ah!
Do we get a wolf face now?
Dire wolf. When life gives you a royal flush.
Well, your luck wasn't
Drink
so good,
Bud
was
Light.
it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're
That
playing.
is Sting.
That is super
I'm
Sting.
afraid you owe me. Your life, sure. But more than that, your labor.
So I can't tell if that's Sting doing the other voice too or not. It doesn't. I don't think it
I
is.
don't think so.
It's hard.
You see, this
He's a
land
better
is
voice
built
actor than I
on
thought he was. If
stories.
if
It's one
he is.
big story. This country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie. All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere with a seed.
They're literally just doing
As
my
they
job
told
here
and
for me. Like they're
retold
this is the
and
entire
passed
premise of the
around
game right
to
here.
grow and change to become the stories we know.
Seems like that table got a lot
To
smaller.
pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them.
First of all, let's talk
telling
about how
them
you
onwards
cheated.
So they can begin
I
gaining
know. He
strength.
switched my cards when I was
This
cutting
is
my
no
hand.
easy
Are you
task.
going to argue with the man
Stories
with a
are
wolf
heavy.
head?
Yes.
Because I feel like he could chomp your face off.
If not the man with the
Most
wolf
of the
head, then with
stories
whom?
you'll
Okay,
find
that's
will be
mine.
soul
I draw a line in the
seeds.
sand.
Thank
They
you,
might be
Vinny.
Yeah.
But they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story. The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie? Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information
I was
about your task.
once playing cards with a wolf guy who cheated because he's a loser.
All right, well, these are apparently the only stories I have right now, so we'll
Took my best harmonica.
all right. Story of the Northbound Train.
Is it all voice acted?
A lot of it is.
Oh, that's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliche in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another.
Is Sting a big actor?
He hasn't done a
He hasn't
lot.
done a ton.
He's like doing a good job.
Yeah. I mean, he's a performer.
All right,
Yeah, but that's not an actor, Vinny.
What?
It's a different craft.
I'm not going to go through all of these because it's just him explaining the gist of the game. I kind of want to jump
Oh,
into it, so
okay.
we're going to do that.
Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not.
Bye, Sting.
Either way, it'll be an experience for you. I'm jealous in some ways.
Maybe you
Well,
should
then,
have lost.
yeah, maybe you should do it.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
I was looking to win a sweet harmonica.
Yeah, I would like some money. All right,
Wait, are you a skeleton man?
I'm a skeleton man.
You're a hobo skeleton?
Oh.
I'm a hobo skeleton, yes.
Riding the rails?
I don't know if I'm enjoying this departure from the other art style.
I'm kind of with you. The map is not a thing that I like super. Also, this camera's behaving kind of weird here. I'm not sure what's up with that. Yeah, so the idea is you are going from place to place and you are collecting stories. And those stories, over time, as you collect them, will be told to other people, and they will grow, and they will become more powerful stories.
Oh.
And then you
so you're
use-
Facebook.
Kind of.
It's your human Facebook.
And then you use those stories to engage with other travelers over time, which we'll get into that in a little bit.
Use them to be an influencer.
All right, so we've met our first people here.
Two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?
Sure.
About
I'm a
to
skeleton.
hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt.
Oh boy, it was a trap.
You know these girls? They demand. Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. If you were selling booze too, you'd have a lot more cash, sneers one. On the porch behind him, the two bootleggers are fingering their empty rifles, grinning in disappointment.
Okay.
All right, that's my first story I have collected here.
Oh, so we got mugged?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yes, go on.
So what happened there? Those two women, they wanted to smoke, but then they all got busted for bootlegging?
I think they wanted to smoke, but then they had guys with them who were like, this is a trap, I'm beating you
Is that
up.
what that was?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The stories are not always super fleshed out, but again, they tend to kind of grow in the telling over time. But you don't necessarily experience that. A lot of this I just kind of have to show.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of go through a few of these
How
here.
about the story of the giant walking skeleton man who roamed the country?
That one I think probably comes at the end.
You can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled.
Well, we got to say hello.
It could be a
She
puppy.
gives a start. Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here, it says in a small voice.
Okay.
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore.
But I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please.
So when you're making these choices, does it feel like it actually affects the dialogue that comes next? Because it seems like that choice could have
His
been
father
the answer
must
for
have been
either
here at some
dialogue
point.
option.
In some feel a
Sure
little more
can't see
effective
him
than
now.
others.
Okay.
The main thing
Please
that you're
go.
doing here by
He's
making
coming
these
back any
choices is that you're putting these stories
the
into
boy
categories that
going
you will
at it.
eventually
interesting.
you will
He's gonna see you
need
talking
to
to
mess
me.
with later on,
Please,
which I'll
go.
show.
He only calms down when you leave. You don't see another soul for miles.
All right. So just to kind of go through the things you can do here, travel obviously is a little bit slow. So one thing you can kind of do is you can hitchhike by putting out your thumb if there are any cars around, which there aren't at the moment. I believe there is also this whistling mechanic, which lets you walk a little bit faster while you're playing this tiny little rhythm game, which is not actually very good, or it just kind of feels like bad busy work.
I'm kind of into it.
I'm into it, but like I don't want to do this all the time just to move a little faster. You know what I mean? All right, what do we got here?
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over the water. He watches a pair of seagulls preen and groom each other on a rock just off the shore.
Yeah, why?
Just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great, black, thick globs of spent tobacco out of a huge ceramic pipe. I got another year, I guess. Another year of this town being here, he replies, letting a grin spread across his face. If the seagulls came, that means enough fish to keep it in place.
So you can't press for more?
Like you will hit an endpoint with all of
Okay.
these.
Do you find this main voice actor, like, I think he's doing a really good job, but do you find it maybe a little tiring?
It's a little slow.
He's
Yeah.
a slow speaker.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily mind that, like, but also, given that you're mostly looking at static art and there's a lot of these,
Wrapped around her
it
neck.
does start to feel a little tiresome. Like, I've played about 3-4 hours of this game, and I was already starting to feel a little fatigued by it.
I mean, do you just read it a lot faster than he's reading it? I
Yes,
assume?
very much so.
Yeah.
You question.
Do you wind up skipping it when you're on your own?
Parked outside.
If I like the story or I feel like his delivery is
I took her on a
interesting, I will
fine
listen.
date, and she
If
didn't
not,
remove
then
so
I will
much
tend
as
to
a
move
ribbon.
on.
Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? That's the spirit. You decide to seek a second opinion. You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful
So
clothes.
what is that picture of the screaming person?
So I think that this is the category you're eventually going to put the story in, which that will come up in a little bit.
All right.
You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench. You may. Lovely outside, isn't it? Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her
Takes it
throat.
off. Her head falls off.
That was kind of
Is it
what I
like
was
this?
thinking,
It reminds me of Paris.
but they don't deliver on that bit here.
I mean, I hope not.
Is, how, like, obviously we have a wolf man, but
Yes.
how grounded are these stories?
You
Like,
can
could there
see
be one
storm
that's as
clouds
fanciful
on
as,
the
like,
horizon.
this ribbon's keeping
don't
her head
know.
on?
There's one that comes up shortly after this. This is not really a spoiler, where you literally are talking to a dead German, like,
Fortunately.
wow, okay.
like,
You find the lighthouse door
like
open.
Hesher soldier,
daunting
like, who is like
staircase
asking about a missing cannonball, and
Like
you
a
can tell
ghost?
it's like a ghost. Like there is definitely supernatural elements to a lot of
Okay,
this stuff.
okay.
At the top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside.
All right, so there's people inside.
Looks like we got a visitor.
If he's doing voices, I'll sit through it, but
Uh-huh.
if not, then I think we can move
The
on.
Alex Navarro Cliff Notes version.
Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door. Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. I always behave myself. He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead. After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand.
Meaty paws.
Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in.
Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor.
Oh, we manage.
The tall one sits on the sofa, casually wrapping an arm around the other lighthouse keeper.
The quiet suits us just fine.
He needs his quiet time. He's a writer. The tall one grunts.
I dabble. But you must have some good stories from the road.
You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea and cakes.
I don't know what that delivery is. I don't know why the cakes are in question here.
Maybe not. Don't judge me.
If you eat it in the morning, is it still a cake?
What is cake? All right, I'm not going to hitchhike right now, but... So if you hitchhike, that'll take you down road a ways until whenever the car is stopping. You can also hop on trains if you want to get to a specific city. I should probably show the map here. The map is the entire U.S. I can zoom.
Although this was when? 19...
Yeah, 20s, 30s, somewhere around there. So you eventually, over the course of the game, you will crisscross the map several times.
Can't go into Canada?
Can't go into Canada. There are no stories in Canada. Everyone knows that. Only thing Canada's got is maple syrup and Eric Pope. All right, so we're coming up on Boston here. We'll go in. Let's grab one more story, and then we'll go into Boston.
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider, two wiry old men with identical haircuts, start shrieking at one another. The man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams.
Brother!
They embrace in the road.
Hey, brother. Rip 'em.
Brother?
30 years!
Hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him.
No, 32!
Everyone here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street.
Oh, it's a happy reunion.
Cars and wagons are backing up. People are yelling.
No, just take the picture in the
The
street.
driver begs you. Starts
Let's get him out of the road.
tripod out of the
You want a
bed
good
of his-
story or not?
As you usher them onto the sidewalk, the driver says,
Oh, we got a good story.
Joe, I thought you were dead.
Oh man, is he dead?
rider freezes.
Joe?
He blurts.
I'm not Joe.
Oh no.
The two men stare at one another, each slowly recognizing something alien in their
Don't move
mistaken
on.
brother's face.
Get the rest of this story.
I want to know what would have happened if you took their picture in the road. Would they not have known? Would they
I think
have
they
gotten
would-
hit by
yeah.
a car?
It just would have been a reunion story without the
Wow, that
the
sounds much
twist.
better.
All right, so when you get to a major city, you can do a couple of things here. You can explore, get another story. You can earn some money, which you will probably need later on for other things. You do have like health and like rest meters that you sort of have to maintain over time. But I've also found that like very little of that is like super important. And like if you do like lose a life or whatever, it just kind of starts you back at the last town you were in. So it's not like a big penalty or anything. Let's look for work.
Okay. What do you do for work?
Well, it varies. I mean, it's on kind of like a randomized thing depending on what city you're in.
Sure.
Yeah. Pop Fizz.
Uh-huh. Fiends for the soda.
I love soda. Can we just only do stories about soda?
I wish.
Wait, so this is like
Where
a...
the water tastes like soda.
this is kind of like an Oregon Trail style thing.
Kinda, yeah. All right, so we got a little money from that.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay
This is true.
out
Boston
in a maze
streets
of
make
narrow
absolutely no sense.
passages.
Yeah,
No
that's very
two
true.
alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly
Tail a
lost,
taxi cab.
Yeah, spend your money.
compelled by the cold and foreboding night. You don't question it as you drag your bones into the cab,
Literal bones.
but you realize immediately.
When you go into new areas, does it feel tonally different?
The stories that are attached to each city are different.
Oh, that's good.
The work stuff is just on a random cycle, so like that has very little to do with the location you're in.
Gotcha.
Where to? He asks. You have to stop and think. Eventually, you name Boston Common, the only landmark you know in this town.
Yeah, let's go to the movies.
He peels off.
Yeah, I guess.
You feel the car.
I guess the baseball stadium probably wouldn't be there yet.
Oh,
30s.
really? Yeah.
Or I don't know, at least not the version of it that's there now.
Right.
I'm headed to PAX.
He takes
Take me
you
to the
through
video
ever odder streets, flanked by painfully
Take me to Four Burgers.
gleaming buildings.
I love Four Burgers.
I like Four Burgers too.
I used to go there all the
alright.
time.
You're now broke. Just ate all the burgers.
The fares in glowing numbers above his dashboard. It's much too high. Surely a mistake. No charge. He
Okay, that's definitely not a Boston,
Boston.
cabbie.
You look like you need a break.
Yeah. Sorry, no credit cards.
And then you find yourself on the curb at Boston.
Also,
Common,
not nearly as racist as half the Boston cabbies I've experienced.
a city much as you'd left it before.
All right, so we got a
Well-
little story about an odd silent taxi cab in Boston. So we can take a train here and move on, or I don't want to do that just yet, but
When do you unload your stories, Alex?
well, that's the next thing we're gonna do.
Yay!
I like the presentation here.
Yeah, there's a concept here that I like. And this is the part I actually like the most that we're about to come up on here right now is where you go to these camps and this is where you trade the stories.
Okay.
So each of these camps is a different character that like another traveler that you meet.
Hey there,
and they're
stranger.
each written by
You're
different
welcome
people.
to enjoy this fire with me.
And a lot of those writers are
Irrespectful,
people that
is.
like we know from video games, like Austin Walker did one, Gita Jackson did one character, Lee Alexander, Kara Ellison, Bruno Diaz, who's written for our site. There's a wide variety of these, and
cool.
so when you talk
This
to
here
them,
is my spot,
they'll tell
and
you
I
a little
ain't
bit about
going to share
yourself,
with any
but
bad
only when you
characters.
give them stories that are
You
in the
can call me
categories that they
Quinn.
want to hear.
Okay.
These here are my venturing companions. Cass is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip. I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat and the weather was fine. So I'm taking in the sights and seeing what I can drum up.
I can't
No one
keep
is-
up all those slang.
No one has ever said that about Boston, but okay.
I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something.
Oh, boy.
Scary stuff.
I got something for you.
So the stories that come out are into these different like tarot categories, but they aren't specific. Like there's only like 4 tonal types. Like there's scary stories, there's sad stories, there's hopeful ones, and I think exciting.
Okay.
Okay.
And they all fall into these different categories. The main thing is that you can only pick one from each of these categories each time. And sometimes you'll have stories like multiple tonal types in each category, but you're essentially trying to collect a variety in each one of these so you can have lots to tell each character.
Gotcha. So we want to tell that story with the lady with the ribbon.
So that was what
That's-
I naturally thought,
Oh.
but that is apparently a sad story and not a scary
But it
story.
has the scary face.
I'm with you, but apparently that was not what that was, because I've done that a few
Wow.
times, and it was not a scary enough story.
So do you have to remember the synopsis of the story?
The basic all you really need to know is the basic gist of it. I'll
Okay.
try this one, see if
Is
this
the
works.
Ghost cab?
Yeah.
It was kind of scary. I gave it to you for free.
Yeah, that
Not
is
sure I
scary.
quite follow that
Yeah,
one.
so that one didn't work. So I don't really have any scary stories at this point.
I'll
What's
have-
my future look like? I ain't looking for a traveling companion, if that's what you mean. I do fine by myself, so just stick to minding your own. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still
Okay,
got a
now
sense
we
of
do have a
humor.
funny story.
What's the funny story?
That is the story of the 2 men who mistook each other for.
Wait, that's
a
funny?
sad
I thought that was
story.
a scary story.
Well, it's a silly thing.
They got cloned.
That was a chuckle to
So
be
he
sure.
liked it.
It's all about how you tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about the past, but they say there's an Indian grave around these parts.
So you're trying to
Say
get
it's
stories
haunted
from
and
him?
full up
You
with
just want to
angry
find out
spirits.
more about these characters and their lives and what they've been through.
I used to love hearing stories of cowboys and Indians fighting it up. Would swap tales with the youngins. But, well, I suppose if someone shot me, I'd be pretty vengeful too. I want a story that scares
I don't have
me.
that. Sorry, I
I'm
can't help
older.
you with this.
You sure you don't have a scary one?
I'll try the lady, but I.
Well, nothing happened there, right?
Yeah, I don't really have anything that's like
Ain't
scary
life
right
got
now.
enough tearjerkers in it without telling stories like that?
Yeah,
Sad.
look, I'm sorry.
Oh, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad?
I mean, the
Crying
bootlegger
after
thing was
my
kind of
mama every
scary.
night.
I guess that was
don't
more
need you looking
exciting, I
after me.
think.
So
Oh,
if you're
boy.
offering, don't. And I thought I told you to be respectful. What you really ought to be
Wow.
asking yourself
They're
is
really
if you
tearing
want to
into
keep
ya.
enjoying
Yep.
the spot or not. Hey,
Look, sorry, we thought it was scary.
Stories to
Okay.
tell?
I think I can tell the bootlegger story now.
Well, that was something.
Yep.
You spin a good yarn.
So when are you waking up? You're like,
It makes them more open to talking to you and telling you about themselves.
oh, I see. You got to do it before
Bosses and
sunrise.
such.
Yeah.
Oh,
I ain't
interesting.
nobody's little Angelina, if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs.
Myself.
I don't need no jocker looking out for me. So if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful.
Tisk.
You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about that. I'm in the mood for something real
Don't
funny.
know if I have any
like.
other funny ones.
Just
you-
tell the same one again.
You can't do that.
That's my
unfortunately.
favorite way to tell a funny joke.
Wait,
is just
what-
keep doing it till it comes
So
back
this is
around.
all I have
Is
right
what's
now.
the lighthouse story?
That was me hanging out with the two guys,
What-
lighthouse keepers.
What's the story?
That's
The
like
cake.
that's
The
like
cake.
That's like a happy love story type
Oh.
thing.
I mean, the cake was funny.
Yeah, I'll just tell them about this. I don't have anything else to talk about yet.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful.
No.
Not enough excitement for me. Love stories. Huh. Folks sure seem to be eat up with the notions of love.
The only thing I
Seem to
love is my
talk about
dogs
it
and this
all
and
the
that.
damn time.
Or cakes. You got a story about little cakes?
Also, the straw hat. Rather partial to it.
I'm not sure I see the appeal myself.
And this knife.
Oh, heck. The night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but
So
I
you'll
gotta
run into this
get
character
on.
again, and over time
I'll
you will
see
learn
what's
more
happening
about
up the
them.
road
And there are a
this
bunch
way.
of these different characters like scattered throughout the map.
So
So-
these are the only characters that are written by like the folks we know or like by guest people?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
The tramping life suits me just fine.
Sorry, Vinny, did I
Every
interrupt
day
you?
is a venture.
No, I was gonna say it's a gameplay
Things
set up
being
so where
so
you're not
depressed,
supposed to
folks
have
walk
all
around
the
like
stories
it's
by
the end
now.
of everything
Yes.
good.
Okay.
But it ain't. Plenty
didn't
nice
fail
things to
this.
see if
No.
you know where to look.
Can you just
Alright,
make up a
see
story?
you later, little lady.
No, I guess what did he say? A glimmer of truth is better than a diamond of lies or something.
No, it was like a dirty truth is better than a shiny lie or
Yeah,
something.
he's wrong.
And turns to face you as you pass him by.
Damn, look at all those birds.
At his back,
This is a
there's
funny
bag
story.
full of
No, it's a love
bird
story. He
seed.
loves birds.
He assures you that the gawky birds perching on his body are the last remaining passenger pigeons.
They look extinct to you?
Well,
You're
okay.
not sure those dull gray
You're
pigeons
you're
look
awfully
anything
cutting
like
for a
pictures
bird
you've
guy.
seen of
Do you like
passenger
birds?
Pigeons. Well, you can't
Sure.
help thinking they stare at
It's
They're
a love
lovely
story.
creatures. Guileless, really.
hunted damn near to extinction, weren't you? He
Oh, boy.
strokes one of his
Brother.
birds under the chin.
Excuse
You
me.
think you see drips of blood flecking the creature's dirty gray head. You sense it's about time you start moving on.
You be kind to the little birds now, you hear?
That's
You
a,
hurry along the road, flapping of ungainly wings.
this is a scary story, right?
Follow you for
It's a little unsettling.
Does that count as a love story?
You know, sometimes you just have to experiment and see how people react to them.
Okay.
I met a guy who liked birds. Whoa.
There's a little bird blood everywhere,
There's
but
bird
I don't
blood.
know.
Oh, this is not a story?
No, this is just like a tutorial thing. Hey, do you want to know more about this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's their little friend?
Yeah.
Is a bird talking to you? I kind of missed that.
I think the bird is talking to me.
Okay.
Nice.
Which is maybe only like the fourth or fifth weirdest thing that's happened so far. Fine, I'll do the... I am moving faster.
And you get a fun little tune.
I kind of... Is he supposed to be whistling to the song in the background?
Kind of.
I know sometimes it matches, and then sometimes it doesn't. In a way, I'm like,
I mean, to be fair, most people who whistle aren't necessarily going to get the exact melody right most times.
Yeah, but he's a hobo skeleton. You'd think he'd be
he's gonna be
really
good.
at
He doesn't
that.
have lips, but like he can make it work.
I think it's damn impressive he's able to whistle at all.
He just has to turn his head to catch the wind. It's just,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Okay, so these are instances where you will hear stories you've already experienced, but like different. And that's how you grow stories, is by encountering these situations where you run into some random person and are like, oh, let me tell you a story. And then it's like,
it's a retweet.
yes, exactly.
Oh, nice.
But like a retweet with a comment above.
Yeah, totally. Yes. Just edit it a little bit.
Yeah, it's, let this sink in or whatever.
Let this sink in.
Thread. All right, so we got a little bit more about the two guys who mistook each other.
Right. 32 years.
Are you seeding the stories? Are they
fill the sky.
are they growing?
Kind
Good
of,
seed.
yes.
You got a seed.
They're growing in the telling. Let's watch the sky
Lightning
churn.
is so strong that it seems to open a path in the haze above you. You are sure you see massive talons
Sure.
curved around the clouds.
Ah, yes, the famous storm bird.
The thunder is so immense that the ground trembles.
Do you have lips?
Your lips and hands tingle from the electric charge that fills the air
Oh, that's dangerous. Get out of there.
until the dancing lightning passes on over the hills.
New city?
Yeah, New York.
Oh, boy.
New York, baby.
Wow.
No good stories here. Whoop.
Oh, stuck on the buildings.
Ah, it's Attack of a Giant. Wandering skeleton.
There is something invigorating about that stink.
The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered
should we listen to the couple or talk to the
leans
man?
out over the
Couple.
rail.
You want love
We
stories?
have a bunch of love stories
Yeah, you're
already.
right.
We should probably talk to the man.
Nearby, a man and a woman speaking low, urgent.
All right, tell me.
Maybe
Oh, that
that's not
doesn't sound like a love
story.
story, though.
approach. His newsboy cap is ragged with age.
You look familiar. Did I meet you at Union Square?
What's a Union Square?
I don't
The
understand.
demonstration. It got bloody. But I'm used to that after Italy.
Oh, is he kind of Italian? But I'm used to that after all of my
To
meatballs.
steady it
I
from
don't think that's where
breeze.
he's going, but I'll
When
take it.
Ramsey
It's
was
a good story.
arrested, many of us had to flee. I came into New York.
I think you're right.
Here,
He's a little bit
I continue
Italian.
our efforts. The workers' voices will be heard.
And that's how the origin story of Bernie Sanders.
That's a spicy meatball.
Look for work.
The workers will be heard.
Got to keep going. Got to get that money.
You get money?
I lost a little bit of life, but I got some money.
Yeah, we're skeleton. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
What happens if you sleep? Do you get life back?
You don't really sleep. You just you can buy these things that will build up your meters.
Oh, New York.
Yeah. Fresh bagel, slice of pizza,
Some iced coffee in the Depression? Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
fresh OJ.
A shot of
Shave off this
wheatgrass.
ice for your.
We'll do a couple. Oh yeah, here's our creepy soldier.
Cool.
Hamlet, combined with their superstitious tales.
So we'll do a couple more of these and maybe find one more campfire, and then I think we'll call
and
this.
filled
Okay.
you with a hollow
Maybe we'll hop on a
dread.
train or something.
Folks say these woods are full of apparitions, which, in the moonlight, every valley and hollow at the feet of the Tappan Zee seems like a stolen shred.
It's hard to weave Tappan Zee into
Yeah.
a real
Fireside
drawl,
tales seem less
charming tale.
but something cuts through the noise. The muffled sound of hooves galloping on the cold, muddy road. When he finally slows his horse alongside you, he's astride a gigantic black courser. And though his boots are muddy and ragged, he wears an immaculate coat with great, shining buttons.
All right, so he's
His
a big dude.
voice is a rumbling croak. Deep.
Do you know the way to the
His
Cross
throat is
Bronx?
filled with thorns. Have you happened upon a cannonball around here? You can tell English isn't his first language.
Sorry, I
You
haven't.
mumble an apology.
What's that
and
pentagram
watch
thing
as he
mean?
silently
Ghost
rides
story?
away.
I think so. Or it's just,
Devil.
again, it's just the categorization.
the devil.
He's cloaked in black, you notice from behind. But the blood running down over his shoulders glints crimson in the moonlight.
Ooh, cool. I like it.
Go to Jersey.
No way. Who wants to go to
Go to Jersey. Best stories are in
Seems like there's
Jersey.
not really anything in Jersey. Well, if
Yeah,
I
that
keep
sounds
going
about
south,
right.
there's more, but it's the crow again. Nah, I'm good.
Go to Jersey. You hear the story of a missing union leader buried under.
All right, I see a campfire just south of Philadelphia there, so we'll just walk
Just
straight
walking directly away from Jersey.
there. And Philadelphia, for that matter.
Hey, hitchhike there.
It'll zip you way past it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. The hitchhiking is not exact.
Is it useful?
I don't really use it, honestly.
Oh,
I
really?
don't find it that useful.
Well, you don't even like whistling.
Well, yeah,
What kind of skeleton cowboy are
Yeah,
you?
seriously.
the worst kind.
I wonder if he does Philly accents for the people in Philadelphia.
What's a Philly accent?
It's like really weird. It's like kind of southern but weird.
Okay.
I don't know. My friend Howard's from Philadelphia, and he always talks about when he goes home, his mom is always like, "Howard's home." That's like sort of what it sounds like.
sounds charming.
But it's very weird.
Oh, no.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good.
I wonder if this guy was a soldier.
It was 30 years ago.
Nothing to anybody
32!
Till we left. Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
Do one about the German. The German ghost.
I may end up telling him that one, but not just yet. I think I'm going to tell him about the. I'll tell him about the
Cakes?
seagulls.
That's a happy story?
Yeah, because the town makes it another year.
Oh.
I like that one. There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quick.
I'm doing all right.
The future's the issue, ain't it? Great war leaves us nothing to go back to, plucking up the hope and leaving us only with the vile and the unforgiven. So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know good ones.
So this is kind of
There's
maybe.
a little bit of a transitional problem there.
This is kind of maybe my fundamental issue with the game, apart from the map navigation, which I don't actually think is that fun. You said you wanted a funny story, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the pigeon keeper funny?
The four identical men born to two different mothers who confuse themselves amongst each other, because that story has now grown.
Oh, right.
So the problem with this is that I like the stories and I like
Yeah,
learning
Paul would
about
like
these
that.
characters.
Yeah.
But the transactional kind of nature of,
Yeah.
of trading the
Right.
stories, like, it's weird.
Seems a little forced.
It's a little forced. Like, it feels like they're trying to force a
Feels like
structure
it's
on this that maybe it didn't need.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say that it didn't need any structure, because I could see this also being very aimless if there wasn't like a point or a goal to go toward. I just don't know that the one they settled on works for me entirely.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a weird thing of like, anyway,
Tell me a funny story.
give me a
Yeah.
funny story.
Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Do the one about the cakes.
That's a love story.
What's a funny story?
I don't. Do I have another one? Let's see if I have another funny one. Massive thunderstorm, elegant woman, creepy writer,
Uh-huh.
determined socialist,
Uh-huh.
boy ran away. So here's the thing: when you meet new characters, if you are lacking a story, you can tell someone else's story that you've already met, and it is an all-purpose, like it's like a
Oh.
wild card,
Oh,
basically.
Okay. Will it give you what you need?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
So
cool.
in this case, I can tell him about Quinn's adventures, focusing on the funny parts, and it will work.
Oh, that's
Wish I could
good.
tell that one to my sister. Travel. Well, this walk feels like a little bit of freedom now and again. The flowers along the road make for fine company. Do you know any happy stories?
Yeah.
Hopeful ones?
Yeah, we do.
The cake,
Yeah.
the cake, the cake.
Yeah.
Which was the cake? Oh yes, the lighthouse keepers.
Mm-hmm. Does that count, or is it too
I
lovely?
think this will work.
For a moment there.
Yes.
Just a moment. I felt better about it all too. Love? It was a real long time ago.
Oh boy.
Just don't pull the ribbon on her neck, because that's a much bigger
And
issue.
She tattletale on me. Never really tried after that.
Jeez.
Tell me a happy story.
Oh, I think I have maybe one more.
Friend, I'm running out of stories here.
Yeah, that's another story.
Yeah, you could tell me a story.
The Socialist, is that a happy story?
Let's try.
The workers are all going to rise up.
Yeah, all right, works.
Just a moment. I felt better about it all, too. Freedom is getting paid what you deserve and getting enough to get by.
Yeah, I think for the structure I've seen so far, the like charm of being enwrapped in this world and this atmosphere is a bit broken by this kind of clunky,
Right.
like randomized text feeling thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is that it does feel clunky. It doesn't feel like
The flow breaks down a bit.
like this is trying to be this interactive short story collection, which I like the idea of again, but I think that the way they've delivered on that is not as compelling as I would like it to be. All right,
Yeah, I'm like engaged and interested, but I don't think I would want to sit down for more than like an hour or two with this game.
yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. All right, we're gonna hop on a train and then we're gonna call this.
The waters of this land, and by and by I'll see them far and long.
Yeah, like I feel like I want to watch the short film of this.
Yeah.
or like read the like graphic novel or
Yeah,
something.
totally.
All right, which city should we hop a train to?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah, let's go to Georgia. I've
You
never
have to
been.
pay for it? Wait, you hop the train?
I
You
think
didn't get any stories on the train?
on that one you don't. I think you can also hop at a train station. Sometimes when you do, it will it will like you'll like
You're just riding the rails.
you'll just ride the rails as opposed to like actually taking a train.
This is just like fast travel.
Yeah, but I think in the that's right. In the cities you can't. I think.
So is this us riding the rails?
We're
New
hopping-
Orleans,
we're hopping a
cool,
train.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
This is what
hopping a train versus paying for a train.
Cool.
Is that you?
I think that's someone else on there.
Not gonna talk to him.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ugh.
Mm.
Well, I got beaten
You
for
just
my
lose some
trouble.
health?
I lost some health.
Yep.
So I can get that back by going into town and doing stuff and then buying a sandwich or whatever. So, but
life
A
on
nice
the road.
iced coffee.
Yeah.
But so like
a mochaccino.
even in that small slice here, I think that is kind of the gist of where the water tastes like wine
Yeah.
is.
$20.
It's $20. Again, I think there's some neat ideas here, and I think if you're into the storytelling style, like there's something there for you.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced I'm going to finish this one because I just don't know that the structure of it is working well enough for me to want to like invest the time. Because I've heard this game can go as long as like 10 or 12 hours.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think this would be a game for me that I would play like 20 minutes every few weeks here and there. Like maybe sit down and relax,
Yeah.
but not necessarily something I would like grind through to finish.
Or like go through if I had like a plane ride or something.
Yeah.
Like sit and play
Exactly.
on a plane.
on the train to work or something.
But that's it. So
Cool. Thanks, Alex.